Have you ever found yourself reflecting on your life, wondering what you've truly learned over the years? Or perhaps you've noticed moments when your actions don't exactly align with the ideals you've always thought were true. You might even catch yourself thinking, where did that decision come from? It's a part of life, isn't it? We grow, we change, and sometimes we don't even realize how our true selves have evolved beneath the surface. Today, we're going to dive into something that might seem a bit unexpected: Niccolò Machiavelli and his famous book, The Prince. Now, I know what you're thinking. What does Machiavelli have to do with me, especially as we get older? Well, I promise you, it has everything to do with uncovering your hidden potential, especially when it comes to your inner strength and decision-making. Machiavelli is often remembered for his views on power, strategy, and manipulation. But what if I told you that his ideas could also reveal a deeper, more personal side of you? A side that, whether you realize it or not, might be quietly influencing the choices you make every day. We're going to look at how Machiavelli's philosophy can help you understand your darker side, those hidden motivations that drive you to act in ways you might not expect. You might be wondering, why should I even care about Machiavelli at this stage in my life? Here's the thing. Understanding your own secrets, those unconscious desires, fears, and habits that influence your life, can be incredibly empowering. And as we age, it's more important than ever to embrace and understand every part of ourselves. We start reflecting more on our decisions, why we've made them, and how we can use that knowledge to lead a fuller, more intentional life moving forward. This isn't about manipulating others. It's about discovering the hidden power you might already possess. In this video, we'll explore how understanding Machiavelli's insights can help reveal those hidden corners of your personality and ultimately empower you to make better, more informed choices. Let's start by breaking down some of Machiavelli's core ideas and seeing how they relate to your personal journey. The first thing we need to acknowledge is that Machiavelli didn't believe in a purely good or bad approach to life. Instead, he saw power and success as a balancing act, one that often required decisions that might not seem entirely nice on the surface. For example, he argued that a ruler, or anyone in a position of influence, had to be willing to make tough, sometimes ruthless choices to maintain their position. It wasn't about being cruel, it was about being practical. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not suggesting you go around being ruthless, but what Machiavelli is really trying to teach us here is something deeper, that there are times when you might need to look inside yourself and ask, what's really motivating me? Am I making choices because they align with my deeper values? Or am I just going along with what feels easy in the moment? For example, think back to some of the decisions you've made in the past. Maybe you've said yes to things that didn't really serve you, just to keep the peace or avoid conflict. Or perhaps you've made a decision out of fear, rather than out of what you truly want or need. These are the kinds of insights that Machiavelli's work can bring to light, uncovering the reasons behind your actions and helping you realize what drives you. So, what can we learn from this? The first takeaway is that sometimes understanding the reasons behind your actions can be a powerful tool for self-awareness. It's about being honest with yourself, even if it's uncomfortable. Let's take a moment to reflect on this. Have there been moments in your life when you made decisions just because you thought it was expected of you, or because it was the easier choice? Maybe you didn't even realize at the time how much your environment or past experiences were influencing you. This is where Machiavelli's philosophy can be a real eye-opener. He encourages us to challenge our own assumptions and look deeper into our motivations. And it's not just about power. It's about understanding yourself in a more profound way. Now, you might be wondering, how do I start uncovering these hidden parts of myself? Well, that brings us to the second lesson from Machiavelli: learning to embrace your dark side. It's a term we often associate with negative qualities, but in this case, it's about understanding those aspects of yourself that you might have neglected or pushed aside over the years. As we age, we often develop a sense of comfort with who we think we are. We might be satisfied with the version of ourselves we've come to know. But what if there's more to you than meets the eye? What if there's strength hidden beneath some of those traits you've written off as weaknesses? Machiavelli encourages us to confront these parts of ourselves, to stop running from them, and to use them as tools for growth. Think about it. Sometimes, the things we consider flaws can actually be strengths in disguise. That sharp tongue, or that tendency to take control of situations, might be your inner strength showing up in a way that you haven't fully embraced. By facing these parts of yourself head-on, you can learn how to use them more effectively, transforming what might seem like a negative trait into something that serves you in a more powerful way. Now that we've discussed how understanding your motivations and embracing your darker side can lead to personal growth, let's take a step back and think about how these insights can impact your day-to-day life. How can you use this newfound self-awareness to improve your relationships, your decisions, and even your overall well-being? Take a moment to think about your own experiences. Has there been a time when you felt like your actions weren't entirely in line with who you are, but you did them anyway? What if you had taken a step back and reflected on those actions? Could you have approached the situation differently? We'll explore more of these ideas in the next part, where we'll dive deeper into how you can apply these Machiavellian insights to your everyday life. But for now, I want you to reflect on the first step we've covered: understanding your motivations and embracing the hidden parts of yourself. It's a powerful tool, and once you start to use it, the doors to a more fulfilling life are wide open. Let's continue this journey together. Stay with me, and we'll uncover more secrets in the next part of this conversation. Now that we've started exploring the importance of understanding your motivations and embracing your darker side, let's dig deeper into how you can apply these insights to your day-to-day life. One of the most significant lessons we can take from Machiavelli is the idea of adaptability, knowing when to adjust your behavior, your choices, and your approach to the situations you encounter. Machiavelli understood that the world is ever-changing, and in order to thrive, we must be flexible. He believed that rigid thinking and adherence to tradition could limit a person's success. So, let's think about how this applies to your life right now. Perhaps, over the years, you've established routines or mindsets that feel safe, but they may not be serving you as well as they used to. The world around us continues to shift, and so do our needs and desires. Maybe it's time to embrace change, especially if there's something in your life that feels stagnant. Have you ever found yourself sticking to a certain habit or routine just because that's the way it's always been? Maybe it's a way of thinking, a long-held belief, or a daily habit that you've never questioned. But what if that routine is no longer serving you? What if embracing something new, something that feels a little uncomfortable or unfamiliar, could open up a world of opportunities? Machiavelli didn't just advocate for ruthless decisions. He believed in the importance of adaptability, knowing when to be tough and when to be flexible. In his eyes, success wasn't about being stuck in your ways. It was about evolving. In practical terms, this could mean making small adjustments to your habits. Maybe it's about reevaluating how you spend your time, whom you spend it with, or the activities that bring you the most joy. For instance, maybe you've always followed a certain path when it comes to maintaining your health or well-being. Perhaps you've stuck to the same routine of exercise, eating habits, or socializing. But have you ever considered switching things up a bit? Trying something different, like exploring a new hobby, changing your walking routine, or even shifting how you approach your mental and emotional health? These changes don't have to be drastic, but small shifts can make a big impact, opening your mind and your life to new possibilities. Think about this. How often do we stay in our comfort zones because we're afraid of change? As we get older, it's easy to settle into familiar patterns, but Machiavelli encourages us to think beyond the comfort zone and be strategic about how we approach our growth. In the same way, he advocated for rulers to adapt to the political landscape of their time. We too can benefit from adjusting to the evolving landscape of our own lives. Sometimes, it's about knowing when to make a change, and more importantly, trusting that change can bring something positive. Along with adaptability, another powerful Machiavellian lesson revolves around the concept of appearing as you need to. Now, I'm not talking about putting on a false persona or pretending to be someone you're not. Instead, it's about recognizing that we all wear different masks in different situations. We adapt the way we present ourselves depending on the circumstances, whether we're speaking with a loved one, a friend, or a colleague. This is not about manipulation. It's about understanding the role you need to play in each situation to achieve the best outcome. Think of it this way. In your life, you've likely worn many different hats. As a parent, you might have needed to show great patience. As a friend, you may have shown empathy and understanding. At work, you may have needed to be assertive and decisive. These masks aren't fake. They are parts of who you are that come forward when needed. In the same way, Machiavelli advised rulers to use whatever appearance suited their needs in order to secure their power and ensure success. For you, this could mean recognizing the different roles you play in life and understanding when to shift your approach. If you're facing a challenging conversation with someone close to you, for example, how can you adjust your tone, attitude, or approach to ensure that the conversation is productive and respectful? Similarly, in social settings, how do you engage with people to ensure you are getting what you need, whether it's support, understanding, or even just enjoying a light-hearted moment? These aren't tricks. They are simply about being intentional with how you show up in the world. And the more you understand the masks you wear, the better you can use them to navigate complex situations. As we get older, our ability to adjust, our approach can be a valuable skill. It doesn't mean we're hiding who we truly are. It means we're being wise in how we interact with others to get the results we want. Let's now move on to a third idea that Machiavelli touches on, the concept of knowing your weaknesses and strengths. It's so easy to focus on what we do well, but as we age, we also begin to understand our limits more clearly. Instead of being frustrated by the things we can no longer do like we used to, Machiavelli encourages us to lean into our strengths while finding ways to mitigate or work around our weaknesses. This is where the magic of self-awareness comes in. Over the years, you've undoubtedly developed a wealth of knowledge and experience. But it's also important to acknowledge where you might need a little extra support or where you might not be as strong anymore. For example, maybe you've always prided yourself on being able to handle everything independently. But as you age, perhaps there are areas of your health, finances, or personal life where it's okay to ask for help or delegate. Recognizing and accepting this shift doesn't make you weak, it makes you wise. Machiavelli wasn't about self-reliance at all costs. He understood the importance of recognizing when help was needed to maintain strength. Knowing your strengths also means celebrating what you still bring to the table. Even as we age, there are so many areas where we continue to excel, whether it's in our ability to give advice, lend a helping hand, or bring wisdom to the table. These are strengths that only grow with age, and Machiavelli's philosophy reminds us that success often comes from capitalizing on these areas where we already excel. As we think about how we can apply these lessons to our daily lives, let's take a moment to reflect on the changes we may want to make moving forward. Whether it's adapting to new situations, recognizing when we need to adjust our approach, or acknowledging the strengths and weaknesses we carry with us, there's much to be gained by being intentional and self-aware. In the next part, we'll look at how these Machiavellian principles can help you create a life that feels more aligned with who you truly are. We'll explore how you can use this understanding to live more confidently and with greater purpose. But for now, I want you to think about the ways in which you can adapt, adjust, and celebrate who you are as you move forward into this next phase of your life. Now that we've explored adaptability, the art of wearing different masks, and knowing our strengths and weaknesses, let's dive into the final lessons we can learn from Machiavelli and how they can be applied to your life moving forward. These principles aren't just theoretical ideas. They offer practical steps to empower you, especially as we age and continue to shape the next chapters of our lives. One of the most profound lessons from Machiavelli is the importance of being proactive rather than reactive. Life, as you know, doesn't always go as planned. Sometimes, unexpected changes happen, and our plans can be thrown off course. But Machiavelli didn't just suggest that we should be ready for challenges. He believed we should anticipate them. This is where being proactive comes in. Think of a time when life threw a curveball your way. Perhaps it was a health scare, a family crisis, or an unexpected financial difficulty. How did you react in the moment? Did you feel caught off guard, scrambling to keep up? Now, imagine how different the situation might have been if you had seen it coming and had already prepared yourself, emotionally or practically, for what might unfold. Being proactive is about anticipating potential obstacles and taking small steps to prepare for them, so you don't feel overwhelmed when they arrive. For example, in your personal health, being proactive might mean scheduling regular checkups, maintaining a balanced diet, or even taking up a new form of exercise that you enjoy. Rather than waiting for a health issue to arise and scrambling to address it, you are staying ahead of the game. The same applies to your financial or personal life. If you can foresee changes or challenges on the horizon, take steps now to reduce their impact later. Machiavelli would advise that we don't wait for life to dictate our actions. Instead, we should be the ones setting the course. This mindset not only gives us a sense of control, but also boosts our confidence in handling whatever comes our way. It's about taking charge of your future, even when the road ahead is uncertain. Another important takeaway from Machiavelli's philosophy is the notion of self-preservation. Now, this doesn't mean solely looking out for yourself to the exclusion of others. It's about ensuring that you have the strength and resources to continue living your best life, whatever that looks like. Machiavelli often emphasized that leaders must preserve their own position, and in the same way, we must preserve our own well-being as we age. This can take many forms. Perhaps it's about making sure you're financially secure for the future, finding ways to nurture your physical and mental health, or ensuring that your relationships remain strong and supportive. The act of self-preservation isn't selfish. It's about recognizing that when we care for ourselves, we are better equipped to help and care for others. It's about creating a foundation of well-being so that you can enjoy a fulfilling and meaningful life, no matter what stage you're in. Now, let's talk about the concept of legacy, a key theme in Machiavelli's work that speaks to the idea of leaving something behind, something that matters. As we age, many of us begin to think more about the impact we will have on the world after we're gone. This could be a legacy of wisdom, kindness, love, or even tangible achievements. But how do we begin to think about our legacy? And, more importantly, how do we build it? Machiavelli's perspective was that we should always be mindful of how our actions will be remembered. He believed that a ruler should think about how their decisions and behavior would be perceived, both during their reign and after their time. Similarly, we can apply this to our own lives. The choices you make today shape the way you will be remembered, whether by your family, friends, or community. So, how can you start building your own legacy? One way is to think about what you truly value. What do you want to pass on to future generations? It doesn't necessarily have to be something grand or famous. It could simply be your values, the lessons you've learned, or the love and care you've given to those around you. Your legacy can be as simple as the kindness you show, the wisdom you share, or the way you live your life with integrity and purpose. Machiavelli believed that understanding the consequences of your actions and how they will resonate in the future was a key component of good leadership, and in our case, good living. By being mindful of how your actions today contribute to the world around you, you're not only enhancing your own life, but also enriching the lives of others. Whether it's through your family, your work, or your community, your legacy is something you can actively shape. As we wrap up, I want to encourage you to take a moment and reflect on the lessons we've discussed. Machiavelli's teachings are not just about power and strategy. They are about understanding ourselves on a deeper level, making intentional decisions, and embracing the wisdom that comes with age. By applying these principles of adaptability, self-awareness, proactivity, self-preservation, and legacy building, you can navigate life's challenges with confidence and continue to live a fulfilling, meaningful life. Remember, the idea isn't to use Machiavellian tactics for manipulation, but rather to use them as tools for greater self-awareness and personal growth. It's about understanding your motivations, embracing your strengths and weaknesses, and taking charge of the decisions that shape your life. As we age, we gain the ability to shape our world in ways we might not have been able to when we were younger, and that's a powerful thing. So, as you go about your day, think about what changes you might want to make. Ask yourself how you can adapt to life's challenges, recognize the different roles you play, and be proactive about your future. Most importantly, embrace the opportunity to leave behind a legacy that reflects the wisdom, kindness, and strength that you've cultivated over the years. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey of self-discovery and growth. I hope this video has inspired you to look deeper into yourself and find the power that lies within. Please share your thoughts in the comments below. How have you used these principles in your life, and what changes have you made as a result? Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more insightful content that helps you live your best life at any age. Here's to embracing every part of who you are and continuing to grow and thrive, no matter the stage of life you're in. Stay strong, stay wise, and remember, your best days are ahead of you. Minnie, it looks like we've reached the end of the script. This part wraps up our exploration of Machiavelli's principles and how they can be applied to your life as we age. By diving into themes of adaptability, self-awareness, proactivity, self-preservation, and legacy, we've uncovered valuable insights that can empower you to live intentionally and confidently, regardless of where you are in life. If you enjoyed this journey of self-discovery, I encourage you to reflect on what you've learned and start applying these lessons in your own life. The beauty of Machiavelli's teachings is that they encourage us to understand ourselves better and navigate life's complexities with more wisdom. Whether it's making proactive decisions, adapting to new situations, or creating a legacy that aligns with your values, these principles can guide you to live a life that's not only meaningful, but also deeply fulfilling. Remember, it's never too late to embrace change, to learn more about yourself, and to step into the future with a sense of purpose. As you move forward, keep in mind that your journey is unique, and it's your strength, wisdom, and ability to evolve that will continue to shape the chapters of your life. Thank you once again for being a part of this conversation. It's been a pleasure to walk through these ideas with you. Take this knowledge with you and apply it to live your best life at any age. I hope to see you in the next video. Until then, take care, stay curious, and keep growing.